given in the second one. And the third one is in different themes. Like say for example, if someone only wants to know origin of life, people don't want to study the entire course. So that also we are facilitating. So if you like a particular theme like synthesis of science and spirituality, you can take only that module as the certificate courses. Next please. So in what way this course will be beneficial? Obviously, it has to be of some utility for everyone. So I would like to put it like this. We have say what you learned in your subjects is always there. Your science and technology studies that you always have. But two important components of the course are the improving in the lifestyle. The type of lifestyle we are having. We can have better lifestyle after doing this course. How we can apply yoga, meditation, all these type of things. We will be convinced that these are important from a theoretical perspective also. So that is one aspect. No, back. And the second one and the most important thing is values and ethics. This is what many of our colleagues have been conveying, that we are having enough science, but we should have the values. And the values come from moral values, the ethics come from moral values, and the moral values come from the spirituality. Okay, next. So that's what we are intending, like we want to make it like a holistic education. And the holistic education means we want to have prosperity. We cannot say that we will not do our job. We still have to do our jobs for our rightful, means and methods to sustain ourselves. We should be satisfied with the outcome of our work. But most important thing are those things in the bold font. Cope up with stress and anxiety. Today, all of us have to go maybe 12 hours or 14 hours to office. We leave very early and we come back very late. So stress and anxiety is at a very higher level. So how to cope up with that? By practicing spirituality, those things will be conveyed. How to have values at profession. This is very important. This is not often taught in the curriculums. In the curriculum we are always given degrees, but professional values are very important. How to work with others, how to respect others, how to work in a group. So all that will be there in that ethics and values. And then how to be peaceful and how to be happy naturally rather than going for an artificial method. That's what is being taught in the spirituality. And what is the higher goal and purpose of life? That is also not often taught in the regular curriculums. And the regular curriculum, our purpose of a degree is to get a job, and the purpose of a job is to get money and get food, get a home, and then what? So that is not our ultimate purpose, so we will try to go a little into the ultimate purpose of life also. Next. So these are our objectives: holistic lifestyle. We want to have a good harmony in the society. We want to have ethics and values. We want to have personality development. We want to encourage novel research, like the way I was telling, how to connect ancient Indian science with modern thought process. Okay, that type of thing. Next. So now many people say that, okay, I have done a course. In what way it improves my CV? Right. So the first thing that I can tell is that in your CV there is a portion called extracurricular activities, in which you always write that I have organized a conference or I have organized a workshop, I am showing my managerial skills. But having a certificate from Bhaktivedanta Institute that you have done a course on science, spirituality, that of the entire Bhaktivedanta Institute, and his introduction has already been given, and I like to invite Atal Ashutosh Agarwal and give a big clap. He is the vice president of the students Gymkhana IIT Kharagpur. So he is basically a student. He is representing the student community. And in IIT Kharagpur, the faculty is the president, but from the student he is the highest actually.
So, Swamiji, where is Swamiji? Swamiji will just wait, and please all of you come in the front. So this interactive session is on role of spirituality in achieving excellence. And we are talking excellence in three directions: academics, research and administration. Okay. So we have one person, he can talk on academics, and I can talk maybe something on research, and Sri Patnaik, you just heard his background in administration, the Chief Secretary of Odisha, and now he is heading the whole Vedanta University project. And here we have Swamiji, let us give a big hand for him. So, now please, why don't you come close? I mean, it's an interactive section, you have to. So, I will, let us take the administration, that aspect is very, see, many of you, actually, in a way, all of us do some administration. I mean, although we are teachers, but some administration is always there with us. And Swamiji is there, he is a monk, but he is the head of such a big institution. So definitely there is a lot of administrative role. So I will request Mr. Patnaik to actually reflect from his own experience. What is the role of spirituality in achieving excellence in administration?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to have an interactive session on the role of spirituality in achieving excellence, and that too in the field of administration. You see, administration is supposed to be following of rules. There are different rules. The rules are laid down. You are supposed to follow these rules, implement these rules. Now, the question arises as to when your role is so well laid down, where does spirituality fit in? Does it really make you perform better? That's the question. Okay? Now, very often we confuse spirituality with many things which are not really connected with spirituality. We think that if somebody commits a mistake, in administration, we tend to forgive him. We tell ourselves that ठीक है, गलती हो गया है उससे, he has committed a mistake, it's for God to punish him. Why should I incur his displeasure? Why should I commit a sin by punishing this man? And that is why, when we in the administration evaluate a person at the end of the year, when we write his confidential roll, we always tend to take a very, very lenient view about that person. Whatever may be his performance, we have this rather, should I say, spiritual view that is not for us to judge other human beings. It's for God to judge him. Now, this is actually not spirituality to my mind. This is the antithesis of spirituality. Spirituality is something which takes you to the root of everything. Now, if you are in administration, your job is to administer. And why should you administer? Because without administration, there will be no order. There will be chaos. So, if you have to really administer, then you have to realize that it is your job to implement the rules and regulations and perform your role to the best of your ability. That is actually the basic purpose of administration. If, for example, a policeman does not catch a thief, he is not doing his job. If an inspector is not evaluating the samples properly, then he is not doing his job. Now, this is actually the essence of one's function. If you want to achieve excellence, you have to do your job to the best of your ability. And what drives you to do that is actually spirituality. Because when you are doing it, you are not doing it to satisfy your own ego or to establish your superiority over the other people. When, let us say, the policeman is maintaining the traffic, he is not trying to establish his superiority over a person who is going on the motorbike without a helmet on his head. It is not his superiority. He is performing a role. God has assigned that role to him. And that role is to ensure the safety of everyone on the road. And that is why he is doing that job. So if you have your own role clarity as to what you are supposed to do under a particular set of circumstances, then only you will be able to perform your role properly. And to my mind, that is the essence of your living, your raison d'etre, as they say, the reason for your existence. So, ladies and gentlemen, to my mind, in every walk of life and every aspect of administration, you have to be guided by the basic purpose of all that you are doing, the basic reason for all your actions, and that can be understood by you only if you surrender yourself to the might of the Almighty and perform your role with the humility but with the sincerity which the Almighty wants you to have. This is all I have to say by way of my experience. Thank you.
Now, I will request Swamiji to actually address something on the role of, Swamiji is both in academics and also he is the head of this big institution. So the role of spirituality, what role spirituality plays in administration, as well as you can comment on academics.
Namaste. How are you doing? Good. I can say all of you are very, very spiritual because you are able to sit down at this time of the day. It requires spirituality to sit through the sessions and listen. So there is one beautiful verse in Gita, second chapter. नास्ति बुद्धिर अयुक्तस्य न च युक्तस्य भावना न च भावयन्त शांतिर अशांतस्य कुतः सुखम. One who is not connected with the Lord in transcendental consciousness can have neither a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So, both in academics as well as in administration, and for that matter, any human activity, mind is very, very crucial aspect. You need to have a steady mind to do anything. If the mind is not controlled, you may plan anything, but you will not follow the plan. For academics, for exam, you have to have a plan. Okay, I will study every day these many hours, or I get up this time and study. But if you don't have the discipline and steady mind, though you know that you are supposed to study in this time, you will be carried over by your mind. Arjuna asked Krishna that, Krishna, please tell me one thing. Why do people commit sinful activities, even though they know that it is wrong and it is sin? Even though they don't want to do it, as if forced by somebody else. What is the reason? It's same, we want to sit down and study, but somebody is forcing us to, what is that? It is a little lighter version of the question Arjuna has asked. So Krishna answers, Kamesha Krodesha Rajoguna Samudbhava. There are two things, lust and anger. Lust and anger. We want to do our work, we have a very nice plan, but our mind is disturbed by these two things. So, unless one is spiritually situated, one will be disturbed by these two things, lust and anger. In academics, lust plays a lot of role because there is nobody to deal with. You are dealing with your own mind. Mind says, you do this, let us do that, let us go to movie. It's okay, exam, first term is gone, we can try the second term, third term. Many ideas mind keeps giving. But because we don't have this spiritual knowledge and practice, we don't know how to handle this mind. Similarly, in administration, anger plays a lot of role. Because in administration we deal with people. And the person who is leading, he should be very controlled. It doesn't mean that he doesn't show the anger. He should show the anger, but he should not become angry. So in these two cases, spirituality helps very much to, spiritual practice helps us to attain these two things, overcome both this Lust and anger. Lust means to seek for some happiness beyond expected, beyond the quota or beyond limit, or expecting somebody else's, taking over somebody else's happiness. So, if we practice spirituality daily, at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or half an hour, it will actually make our mind very, very peaceful. How it makes? We as a soul, our fundamental property is to seek happiness. That is Satchit Ananda. We always want Ananda. And that Ananda, we want continuous Ananda, not that I eat for 10 minutes and afterwards no happiness. No, I want some happiness all the time. That happiness cannot be derived from the pleasures which we see here. So we can take them as much as is allowed and appropriate for us, but to be completely satisfied and mind to be in peace, we have to experience that param drishtan vartante. We have to practice spirituality and experience some little higher happiness which is continuous, non-stopping, which fulfills the requirements of the soul. Soul wants to be happy 24/7, but our senses are not capable of giving that happiness. So if one practices spirituality, he experiences this higher happiness, that is the relationship with the Lord, that loving relationship with the Lord and the others, then he becomes peaceful and mind becomes peaceful, and he will be able to do his duty, his academics and administration. Thank you.
I will request Atal to actually tell his own experience and his own realization. He is also a student, a bright student, and he is the head of the students' gymkhana. So, from the student side, so he can actually share some experience to all of us.
A very good evening to one and all present here, and I would like to present my view about the topic, how is spirituality helping students as a whole. So how is like helping students when it comes about academics, when it comes about research, when it comes about going for their own startup or any field. So I believe in the Institute of Higher Education like IITs, they should focus on three things. One is innovation, that will come through research. One is startups, that is building something of their own. And the third is the jobs. In the current mindset, if you will see among the students, it comes out that they are more focused on the front, that is jobs. They are looking for jobs, they are going for their, like, there is a lot of risk involved when you go for your own company, when you go for research, because ultimately if you are not passionate about that, you will like at a later point of time, you will realize that I want to like have a safe side. So everyone wants to go in the comfort zone. So when it comes about the options for a person graduating, the safest or the comfort zone comes out to be taking a job, and so he chooses the path of a job. But when it comes about creating opportunities, like who will create opportunities for others? When it comes about India, who will create opportunities for thousands of colleges in India that are producing engineers every year? Who is expected to create jobs? So when it comes about who is expected, it will be expected from the other people who are already in the world and creating their own companies, startups and all. The other people who are expected to create jobs is the people from the Institute of National Importance like the IITs, IIMs and other institutes like IISc Bangalore and other DTU and other colleges. So these are the people who are like who should have the responsibility to create jobs. But now when they are going into the sector of looking for jobs, then who will be creating the jobs? So there should be a particular division that these many people will be going in the jobs to have a good understanding about the market in the job. There should be some people who will be going in the field of research, who will be contributing to the development of the country, so that at least we are developing things on our own, not just following things and getting things from the west or the east, just bringing all those things. So there is very important link of research, link of how the spirituality will focus on it. When it comes about having your own company also, It requires a lot of patience among people, because you will lose a lot of time, there will be a lot of failures that will come in your path. And to go above those failures, you have to have a very stable mind that this is not the end. Like losing one thing or like one of the failures is not the end. You have far more options that will be coming in future if you will work on this. So when it comes about a long term goal, people are like have a very short term goal that at this point of time I have these options, this is the best one. They don't think about a long term. Maybe 5 years down the line they have to work hard, but after 5 years they will be at a position in which they will be looking and they will be recruiting other people. So this is how spirituality contributes in this text, that those are the people, when it comes about taking risk in life, they have a like a they can focus on perseverance and understand these things from spirituality, so that they have a motivation in themselves that if I will lose this, I still have God, I have faith in God, that if I will lose everything, there is God who will help me at a later stage. He is there. So I don't have to worry for like I will not be begging for food. I will have sufficient resources in India. Like I can have sufficient in this world. So I don't have to worry for things that I will not be getting, I will not be having these resources. So this is the thing that I believe that spirituality contributes. When it comes about individuals, it gives us a capacity to take more risks in life. And when we take risks in life, it brings us to like bringing us more outcomes, better outcomes in life, and going at a higher level as we are now. When it comes about innovation, in India when we'll see, like there is a lot less innovation that have come out as of now as compared to the people in the West. US is developing things, we are just like getting those things from US and implementing them in India. Nowadays, when you will see about the startups that are coming in India, they're basically a majority of them are like a bit of copy from the US. I don't say that it is bad to have a copy of something. If it is good, then we can copy those things. But the problems in US and problems in India or the Asia or the region that we are living in is completely different. Our problems are basically, we have population issues. So solutions from the West might not be feeding the industry that we have, like solving the problems that we have. So we need to have our own alternative. We don't have to like follow the whatever they are doing. If it is sufficient, it might be sufficient for their country. For our country, we need to create innovation. And when it comes about innovation, you need to stay focused that this is my goal, and this is the thing that I think that spirituality helps us in focusing things. So this is all about innovation, creating jobs or whatever, like having your own company. I think spirituality contributes a lot in these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Atal. Yeah, I mean, so we heard, I mean, some successful people talking with you. And yes, I mean, I would like to very much exert this thing in research also. I think when we go through the lives of very well-known scientists and even our day-to-day research, spirituality has to do with the creativity. And this is what, like, if you think about Kekule, most of the, I mean, very topmost mathematician, you know, it's like intuition. What is the explanation of intuition? So, who gives the boldness to take the risk? It comes from within. It comes from within. You are trying to do something new. There is some conviction inside, and that is the spiritual element which forces you. That is a positive energy. And sometimes I tell, what is this positive energy? So I tell the first year students when I meet them that when you come here and after 6 months, that difference is, you can see that is a positive energy. And there's a beautiful statement by President Kalam. Like he's saying that basically by prayer, you are tapping so much of positive energy. God is having infinite energy. If He gives you some 100 energy, He's not short of energy. It's like a big water tank. You put a pipe and whatever you need. So this positive energy is required. All kinds of, it's a divine quality. What Atal is talking about, that actually somebody is having the boldness to take that venture. If you don't take risk in life, it's actually, risk may not be the right word maybe. It's basically venturing, you know. And there is some rationality, one ventures. But I have often seen many students, they will say, I want to start, sir. I want to start some new venture, and at the end, it just becomes in his CV. That helps him in writing his statement of purpose for some management college, that's all. But he is not able to start his venture. So now, the very important thing is that here we like you, all of us, when we talk about spirituality, actually all of us are students. This is what once Dr. T.D. Singh had told. So we like you to also express your opinion. So it's an interactive session. It's not like, so we like to put something or ask something or express your opinion. Or you can take your own, you have some genuine, let us say, if you look in your own life, you are not able to take some decision. So I like to have some opinions, some inputs, or some queries from you. Yeah. Christopher, you would like to express something? Yeah. Please. So we have Professor Christopher from Stanford University, and in the morning he gave the first plenary lecture, a wonderful talk on Gödel's proof on God. Yeah. Please give him the mic.
Yeah, I just want to continue or add to what you have just mentioned. It's this point of the moment of creativity in science, which is, in my sense, not really well explained yet, and at least I get then the feeling that this is the room where spirituality plays an important role. So, for instance, the only experience in my life was working on my PhD topic, and that was a kind of mathematical work where you have this one theorem you have to get proved, and it's a difficult one, and either you manage that or your PhD thesis is at risk. So it's not something where you can continuously work for, but it has to have this moment of creativity where you are working for. And this is not something which is guaranteed that you can get it. So you have to work very, very strong in the first place to get to a stage that your mind builds up enough of structure in the background about the deep structure behind the proof you are heading for, but then still even hard working, where you have to have the faith and strength to continue, even though it can be very discouraging, not finding the moment you are waiting for. But then there's this moment where you calm, where you maybe you're in a position where you want to give up, and your mind calms down. And then it was in my case like this. Overnight, suddenly this inspiration was there. You saw the structure that was suddenly there, and it's for me not explainable where that was coming from. There was this hard work before, and then this one moment where I thought, that's it. So I was waking up at 4 o'clock at night and went and opened a bottle of wine, really, because I knew it. That was now my PhD topic. It was now, I had the important cornerstone. And this is this moment which is so kind of magical, or, to me, kind of unexplainable so far, how this
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Actually, Albert Einstein once said that actually the physics theories come from a different plane. It doesn't come from the physical plane. And many scientists, they have this experience of, like sudden, like a flash revelation. Suddenly it comes like revelation, and like in our day-to-day life also it kind of happens. Professor Vikramasinghe, can you share something about this?
I think the inspiration that you talked about for Ramanujan or Einstein and so on, those inspirations need not come from an external God.
Yes.
It could be part of his internal spirituality. I see spirituality as emanating from within you.
Yes,
and
yes, absolutely.
and in a very abstract way, connecting with an external cosmos.
Right.
Maybe the universe has a field of consciousness, and you're just tapping into that field of consciousness.
Right.
To think that we have sort of Judeo-Christian type God who is constantly helping us or not helping us, I think that is a rather simplistic view of spirituality.
But it comes from something which comes from inside.
It comes from something within you, deep within you, but it is not there until you cultivate it.
Can you share some your own experience with us?
Well, I think what I found extremely disturbing when I started working with Fred Hall and talking to cosmologists and so on was the innate prejudice that all cosmologists in the 1960s had against a steady state universe or a non-evolving universe.
Right.
And the objection that they had was they sort of clothed their objection in scientific terms, but the basic objection seemed to me to be a belief in a Judeo-Christian view of creation. I mean,
Right.
the Big Bang cosmology is just a carbon copy rendering of the book of Genesis. God said, let there be light, and there was light. God said, let there be a Big Bang, and there was a Big Bang. And even though the scientists involved are extremely distinguished people, learned people, and so on, they don't admit that. I think deep within individual scientists and within the sort of Eurocentric scientific culture, this prejudice still runs really very deep.
Right.
So I think that's been my personal reaction to the sort of cosmological point of view. And when it came even to the ideas of life from outside and life being connected to the external universe, the opposition was mostly from the biblical
Society.
sects that are very strong and so on. So, but I mean, to sum up what I said, I think the inner conviction and an inner peace and almost a sort of a Buddhist type of realization of a much bigger universe within you,
Right.
and connecting you to that bigger universe. That would be my personal interpretation of spirituality.
Thank you very much. All of you heard from Professor Vikram Singhe. I mean, he is one of the very noted, astrobiophysists, and with more than 75 papers in Nature. So that is his, you can understand his stature. So this is actually, if you read the lives of many scientists, so it is like that. And any field, in any field of life, so it's, that is the creativity, like that. So I think we had some discussion because today we were late. So we actually have to condense this session. From tomorrow I think everything will become normal. Because people have come for the cultural program.
One last question from the student.
Yeah, this is the last actually because this it's time for cultural program now.
Hello, I want to share something what I have realized till now. God is actually life. It's actually love. And what we are actually experiencing each and every day, we should be happy each and every moment, whatever the situation is. And I think there is no negativity in the world. Everything is perfect. The thing is, I'll give an example. Something is going on in our life. I think that time I am so tensed, and that is actually a state of mind that we call as negative. But when I'm now, when I go back and look at my past, that moment, that time I can feel that is positive. That means there is no negative in this world. Everything is positive, everything is perfect. And another thing I want to share, nowadays I am watching, some days back I have watched some concert of Nassim Haramein. He is a scientist, and he has published a paper, also international paper. He have told that he have scientifically proven that we have a limitation. We have limitation of thinking that the Big Bang, after the string technology, and then in a multiple universe, and but he has proven that if we go inside, then we can see full universe at a time, full the knowledge. He have given a mathematical proof of that. So I have go through that also. So that means actually we are the one who are creating the reality. We are responsible for the creating the reality, what we are facing individually. So if I change my nature, like jealousy, whatever the things, if we are feel full of love inside, then my reality, the whatever I am seeing, everything will be changed. That's it.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. So now we actually stop this session, and now we this wonderful program, because they have come from all the way from Manipur. Very nice trip too, and so let us generate some positive energy by seeing this wonderful cultural evening. Thank you very much.
So thank you everyone on a dice. But now I'll request Professor K.K. Singh from NIFT Ranchi to come here and honor these guests, these speakers with mementos. Professor K.K. Singh. So the first memento is for Sri Vrajpati Das. B.K. Patnaik, Shri Atal Ashutosh Agarwal, and then finally to Professor Sudipto Ghosh. So now there is going to be a cultural program. It's a very beautiful program because I am seeing these artists, they are dressed up very nicely, Manipuri program. So all of you are requested to enjoy. It will
close this.
Yeah, it will take some 5-10 more minutes to start.